Story number 8 is the final top story that made it to the meter this week. Should we be worried about the next generation? Now, this story, I knew it was going to get in. First, I started looking at what the younger generation was doing, or is doing in the present tense, and I seen a story about a 16-year-old gunman, suspected gunman, who shot himself and shot up some students at his high school, leaving 2 students dead. So it bumped this story up to the top, which is because I think the younger generation, I over the course of my life, I've been able to deal with younger kids. I've mainly devoted my life to trying to impact younger children. I thought I had a child one time, but it wasn't time yet. But it teaches us that they are looking for a better life, just like we are. What I've learned from these stories, reading, and the reason why this story made it to the top, is because younger adults, young children, teenagers, young kids, they are searching for something. They're watching adults, and I've always tried to let people know this in my circle, because this is the way I was taught, is that they're watching. And it hurts all the time when I see them picking up handguns, or shooting themselves, or shooting other classmates over being bullied, or some type of a harmful thing that could trigger them to snap. When I was a kid, I was bullied as well. I had to go to my cousins. I had to fight. Sometimes I had to take up for my little sister. And these are things that occur in our daily lives, and we all have to make a choice. Now, there were some articles that not only steer about this with the younger generation, but they're talking about how climate change could be damaging the health of the world's children and threatening a lifelong impact. I don't know how true this story is. Then there was another story that talked about how 6,433 priests could be protected by the statute of limitation laws because of in these molestation cases. So, learning and listening to generation after generation, I've talked to people who have been affected in these situations by not priests, but even people in their family. I read these stories, and I'm growing up, and I'm starting to learn that every lesson that you learn in life, you start to realize that the best way to live this life is to try to steer people into a better direction, and be as understanding as possible. If these people have nowhere to go to get help, sometimes they let these demons take control of them, and they let them consume their thoughts, and they do drastic things like kill people, molest children, and they become monsters. And it's very, very sad. We all battle with some type of a beast, some type of a crutch that leads us to understand that no human being is perfect. Even with the vaping and the cigarettes, vaping death toll hit 42 over 2,100 lung illnesses reported nationwide. Baltimore mayor insists that leadership is not to blame for the homicide rate. Father took 11-month-old to drug deal as a human shield. The baby was shot multiple times. Baltimore police seeks 15 juveniles in attack on 53-year-old man. American Chopper star is worried about today's youth. He's wondering about the work ethic. He's saying that they had a better work ethic 15 years ago. A woman gives birth on a nightclub dance floor, according to reports. So you look at this, and it leads us to wonder about the next generation, our bad habits as adults, how we're leading. I even see YouTube, they were having problems. They're starting to put up a warning label about the content that we make for kids. Folks, this is serious stuff, and it's getting the attention of higher beings. When you see that parental advisory sticker on something, it makes you wonder what kids are really thinking about and how sensitive they are to adults, what we tell them, how we don't encourage them, how don't we don't spend our time with them. And it's really creating a new wave of a new movement to get to try to figure out what these kids need in their life. Is there something wrong? Do they need more attention? Do they need more love? Young divas out there, young scholars who could grow up to be something greater than what we see in ourselves as adults. And that's why I took the time out to make this a top story. I looked at this story, and this child could have been saved. This 16-year-old child could have been saved through one word of inspiration, through one help, one guardian. And we're starting to see tragic stories like this surface. And my heart goes out to the family and friends of everybody who's affected. Where these young kids are just abused by adults. They don't have good role models, and it's a serious story. And I that's why I made it to the top 8 this week. I hope you got something out of the top 8 stories this week. I hate to see children lose their life, and they haven't even grown big enough to smell the flowers. Haven't even gone through their first heartbreak, and already they're picking up guns and messing up the lives of so many people. But let's hope that it gets better, and let's hope this story changes a lot of lives. I want to thank you so much for tuning in to the Mediator this week. Whew. Mediation is tough, but somebody's got to do it. I want to thank you so much for tuning in this week. If you want to help out, be a contributor, METHOD, the number8inc.com. Constantly reminding you that I'm just the middleman. I stay in the middle, navigating the stories from right to left, watching the pendulum swing. I want to say thank you, as I always try to enter the program. I want to thank all the news outlets and journalists that keep us informed. They deserve most of the credit or all of the credit. I'm just the mediator, staying in the middle. Like I said, that's all I can do. That's what I feel like my purpose in this life is. Steve Jobs can build a computer. Bill Gates can build Windows. I feel like I'm just a simpleton who likes to read the news stories and likes to stay informed and keep you informed. That's what I feel like my purpose is. Martin Luther King can take us to the mountaintop. Gandhi can fight with peace. And I just feel like I can fight with people, keeping people informed. Everybody's got a different strategy. It's non-violent. Pick up a story, stay informed. That's a good deal. So if you want to be a contributor to help out, go through over 200 more stories a week. All you have to do is visit www.method, the number8inc.com, method.com, where you can buy something, click on something, watch something, read something, or just sponsor a program. I am out of here. Another week done. Have a good week, everybody. Another week ahead. Have a good week, and thank you for tuning to the Mediator with me, Brian West.
If you need help, then dial your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens.